Hi, team. Welcome to your well-being workout. For 10 minutes, we are going to coach you up on economic independence. What does it mean to you? What's your definition and how to live it? And our guest today is Ann Hill. She has just retired from a 40-year career in corporate America and has lots of winning strategies and words of wisdom for us as we talk about how to be economically independent. So, Ann, welcome. Thank you for joining our team today to have this 10-minute conversation all about how to raise our economic independence IQ. So let's start with performance barriers. I want to talk about the things that get in the way of us being able to be economically independent. You know, it's one thing to have a plan and to say we're going to do these things, and we start off in a career, and pretty soon we find out we don't love that career, or it's really hard to do, or we don't like the location. There's just so many things in life that shows up. So as you look back on your career and you've, really been able to serve so many people, what would you say are the biggest performance barriers to people being able to set themselves up to be economically independent?
Well, thanks, Carlette. And I'm not sure that it's a performance barrier that I would describe it as, but I think it's a mindset of the fact that I just am going to be economically independent, which I know sounds obvious, but from a from the beginning of my career, um, I never thought that I wouldn't work, and it wasn't that I was supremely ambitious. It was just that I thought I have to be able to support myself. And, eventually I was married, and eventually, as you know, I have 4 children and so on. And I've always kept working throughout all of that, but it was, and eventually ambition became greater. But the fact of the matter is, I had a mindset from an early stage that I just needed to be able to look after myself. And I had a very progressive mother who had her own career. And she, I think, really instilled that in me, even to the extent that she always told me to have my own personal bank account. And to this day, and I've told all my kids, have your own bank account. Shared bank accounts are okay. You can have that too, but have your own. You can find your little piece of paradise somewhere. And it's usually the people that you're working with, right, that make it so much fun. As you know, I have a very strong feeling that work needs to be fun, and so this is not about being a slave to money. This is really about finding a place where you can look after yourself and have a good time in doing so. So I think that sometimes people drop out because they get really fed up, right? They're just fed up with what they're doing. They're overworked and so on. The other thing I would say that I see is that I don't think everybody understands their own personal value.
Mm.
And I do think that that is something that's worth considering. And by that, I mean, what is your level of competence and competency and the type of work you're doing? And do you know what that's worth to a company? And of course, it may be worth different amounts depending on the size of company, but still, you should have an overall sense of it. And and really think about, does that seem right for how you view yourself? And often people are very, companies have not been necessarily keen to share compensation information broadly for some very good reasons. I mean, we're not going to talk about individuals, but to know where you are within a range is a good thing. You should know and have an understanding. And often I think that then, people aren't, if they do feel that they're falling behind or that they aren't getting a fair amount, they'll leave rather than have a conversation. And that is a shame, because the best thing to do is have a conversation with your boss or whoever's appropriate, if you feel that you're not getting the value that you think you deserve. So those are some of the issues that I see, Carla.
So, team, great words of wisdom in terms of having a mindset that is completely devoted to you and really being for you, taking care of you, understanding what you want, really defining what you want, and making sure that you can hold that economic independence in a frame of it's for me and the people that I care about. And that's why you're going to work and that's what you're doing. That makes it a win win for you, for your company, for whoever you're connecting with. You're both showing up in a way that is really for each other. And then love, love, love the point that Anne brought up about really knowing your value. And that's, you can do that with great grace. It isn't about kind of pounding on the table or, being against anyone from a competitive greatness perspective. It's really about being competitively great for yourself, setting your goals, figuring out what's important to you, and figuring out how to get it in terms of, do I need extra training? What do I need to do from a networking perspective? And most importantly, we hope this sounds fun to you. I mean, go out, enjoy your life, have a good time with it, and make sure that it's really based around your values and what's important to you. And so that's our way to win well-being from an economic independence perspective. And we are here to coach you up. We've started a course for you for economic independence. It's once a week for 1 hour in February. And the desired outcome is really to introduce you to how to do the things that we're talking about today. So if you're interested, go to championwellbeing.com and go to our calendar of events, and you can find out more information about how to raise your economic independence intelligence. Thank you, Anne, for being on our team and for your great words of wisdom. So, team, I hope you've enjoyed our conversation about economic independence. And we want to make sure that you know that we are not involved in financial planning. That is not our expertise at all. We have nothing to do with financial planning, except we would want somebody on your support team that is helping you to be a financial planner. But that's not us. We are here to really coach you up on just you starting to understand what is your definition of economic independence. How do you put together a game plan to really live that? And that's going to be based around your values and what's important to you. So if you're interested in getting coached up and really exploring all about really creating that just mindset of economic independence and being it, living it personally, professionally, philanthropically, we've got some workshops coming up in February. They're for 1 hour once a week, and it would be an honor to serve and support you and coach you up on economic independence. If you're interested, go to championwellbeing.com. So go out and make it a week that you are a champion for your well-being and win your week. Thank you for joining us. Hi, team.